I don't know what I did with my hair, but anyway, I have mask marks on my face because I had to go to the dollar store and it reeks of chemicals and I still smell it on my clothes. It's really bad. Anyway, so this is gonna be a truth video that I don't care if anybody watches. I just need to talk about it. So this is about my dad. I take care of my dad. He is in stage 4 COPD. Sometimes he says things that are very triggering to me, or he does something that's very triggering. I say triggering not because I'm like the rest of society that's triggered by every little thing. I actually have PTSD. So that's what I mean by triggered. Something happened today that spiraled off into a bunch of things, but I didn't go into like a PTSD attack, which is really good. I was just shaking for like an hour. I love my dad, but he is a tyrant. He always has been. You see Trump on TV, that's my dad. Without the money. And a little bit more behind the scenes. He keeps it hidden. Yeah. I have so much in common with my dad. I have his empathy. I have his smarts to a degree. I have his looks. I have his eyes. I have his scraggly eyebrow, this one right here that always goes up to the sky. I have his humor, because he's funny. And sometimes I have his wrath. And that is something that I keep deep down into me because I don't want to be him. There was a period of time in my life where I saw myself becoming that years ago, over a decade ago. And I didn't want to be that, so I worked on changing that. And it's good. But I also think too much, which he also does. So, the thing about my dad is you cannot just go sit with him in the room. You know, he's bedbound, and you can't just go in there and sit with him because he will always start an enormous fight or just start screaming about nothing that matters. And then he's on oxygen, so he can't breathe right when he gets like that. And He's not the type of person that you can just bullshit with. If you walk by his room and say, hey, how are you doing? He's gonna start shit. And it's going to be about things that don't actually ever matter. One big thing with him is commercials on TV. Every time there's a commercial on TV, he throws fits. He starts cussing. He starts getting angry. Sometimes, like, he's punched a TV and broke it. He thinks that the world is doing him a major disservice by putting commercials on his TV. And he wants to sue them all and call them all up on the phone and demand that the world revolve around him. And he has actually done that for years. This isn't like a thing where he's got dementia and he doesn't know what he's doing. He has done this all my life that I've ever known him. Unfortunately, I don't remember my dad ever really being good. And that is something that I've been trying to work on, learning, because he is dying. When I was growing up, he would do things like get mad at the TV and start throwing a fit and yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs, breaking shit. And then he would go find me and abuse me. Every time there was something on TV that he didn't like, he would start a fight with me. He would find me somewhere in the house. One time I was doing my homework at the kitchen table, and he didn't like the fact that the coffee maker wasn't working. So he came over to me and tried to start a fight with me, and I did my best to ignore him. I said, cool off, everything's fine, I'm just sitting here doing my homework, just chill out a little bit. I was just trying to get him to calm down. And he was like, chill out, I'll show you chilled out. So he goes and he fills up a huge bucket of water, brings it over to me while I'm doing my homework, and dumps it all over my head at my homework. Because he wants to fight. He wants to be belligerent. He's a narcissist. He's always been a narcissist. Maybe even sociopathic in a lot of ways. Another time, there was some politics thing on TV that he didn't like. And he chased me around the house, dragged me around the house by my hair. I'm screaming bloody murder, trying to kick him off of me. Then he goes and grabs my brother, who was also involved in a lot of this, and tells my brother a whole huge lie story about, oh, she's crazy again. I don't know what to do about it. She's acting crazy again. I was defending myself. He's belligerent and psychopathic. And because I was screaming and crying and freaking out because my dad is abusing me, my brother gets involved, holds me down while my dad tries to kill me, suffocate me with pillows. The list goes on. He's tried to waterboard me just for existing in the world. Just for existing. There's so many horrible things that he has done to me. Like he would purposely do things like this just to get me in trouble for no reason. I have a supplement because I have PKU. He would do things like take my supplement out of the fridge, dump it all over a couch, flip the cushion over, and then come after me saying, "Sandy, why didn't you drink all your supplement? Oh no, you dumped it all over this chair to try to get rid of it." You can imagine what would happen next. And the thing is my brother, who was a hermit his entire fucking life, he's a fucking hermit. He's lived in his bedroom, stayed in his bedroom, all hours of every day, every moment of his life. So he has no clue what's actually going on. He comes out of the room when I'm screaming at the top of my lungs as a child, thinking that I'm just acting crazy. And then as soon as my brother comes out, my dad starts acting. Oh, he's a good actor. He's a good actor. I don't know what's wrong with her. Maybe she's bipolar. Maybe we should put her away. He has grabbed my hair like this, bashing my head on the wall, trying to get my head hammered by a nail sticking out of the fucking wall, and I'm screaming bloody murder trying to move away from the fucking nail. This is my father. This is who he is. And it hasn't changed. And I wish that it would. Part of me thought that going through what he's going through physically would change him in some way. But it hasn't. He's still a narcissistic, sociopathic psychopath. And I wish I didn't know him like that, but that's exactly who he is. I'm 35 years old and I feel like I'm not even allowed to talk about it. My dad was trying to get me put into a mental hospital, put away, because this is just like a horror movie, my life. You know how in horror movies they do horrible things, they hold their kid captive somewhere, and they do horrible things to them, and then they try to send them to an institution to get rid of them. That's my dad. That's exactly what he did and who he is. The rest of the family doesn't know this. And I've kept it that way because I don't want them to think of him like that. I just don't. I was in a state of fight and flight till I was 18, consistently on a daily basis. It's no wonder that I had PTSD. At that point, I didn't know that I had PTSD. I thought that I was just having nightmares and freaking out, and I thought I had a problem mentally. It's like my dad convinced me that there was something wrong with me all those years. And then when I finally started having PTSD episodes, I thought that maybe I did belong in a nut house or something. Anyway, so fast forward to now, I have been trying to get to know my dad. I see his sensitive side. I see his funny side. unfortunately, it doesn't outweigh his dark side. It doesn't. It's kind of interesting. The things, he's so much more against things than he is for something. And that's all he knows. Another thing that's weird is his obsession with black people. Now, I am for Black Lives Matter. I am for ending racism. I am for all that. But my dad is a special case. Any person that's not white, he worships. And I'm not just saying that, like, he literally worships them like gods. If you are a white woman, you will be abused by him. If you are a white man, he just doesn't like you. I've seen him get into a relationship with this woman who's dead now, rest in heaven, where he just plucked her up off of the street because she happened to not be white. Sure, come on over, live with me. I don't know you, but I don't need to know you because you're not white. So you're cool in my book. Invites her over. She's a belligerent drunk. Beats him endlessly. Tries to kill him while he's sleeping. And I literally watch him with that psycho on his knees on the floor of the kitchen, crying and begging her not to leave him. Yet every white person in his life, he's treated like complete bullshit and abuses them. Every white person in his life. Now, there's a woman who he's been really great friends with for a really long time, and she happens to be black. And, she uses him. She thinks basically that my dad's her sugar daddy. I like her, but then I don't like her because of that. When he was really bad and couldn't even really get out of bed with his oxygen thing and everything like that, she would call him up, say, I'm on my way over, we're going shopping. Force him to drive around her little shopping cart in a mall or wherever the fuck she is, while he can barely fucking breathe, not caring about his well-being at all, just as long as he buys her all this expensive crap. Oh, buy me a vacuum cleaner, buy me this, buy me that, just buy for me. Do for me. Okay, and nowadays, the only time she ever calls is if she wants thousands of dollars from him. It's the only time she calls. It's sick. And he enjoys it because she's black and not white. He had everything to say about my stepmom taking all of his money and spending it on frivolous shit. Oh yeah, she's a bad person. But if she were black, oh, I'd be fine. Sure. Take everything from me, beat me up, do whatever you want to me. I am at your service. I exist to worship you, and I can be your slave. Yes, mistress. That's what it is. The other thing I notice about him is he hates Trump, but he is Trump. Literally. He is the liberal, the excessively liberal version of Trump. trying to just help him in any way that I can with his suffering. And I have no problem doing that because even though my father has always been a tyrant and a sicko and a psychopath, I love him. And you know, it's nice to see random glimpses of his sarcasm and funny side, you know, or his really empathetic side. Which is weird because as empathetic as he has never done anything in the world with it. The only thing he's ever done in the world is brought suffering to others, and it's really sad. He's really not accomplished anything in life. Anything of meaning at all. And I learned from my parents' mistakes, both of them. So I know what not to do. I know that I'm sick and I'm home a lot, but I can still have a voice in the world and it can still be positive, and that's what I want to focus on. I have love to give, and if I don't have anyone here physically to share it with, I put it out in the world as best as I can, and it's not fake by any means. There is so much divide and hatred in the world, and it's really sad, and so I just want to be the opposite of that and try to embody it, not just preach it. Anyways, that was my little talk. I just needed to get that out a little bit. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good day. If anybody ever reads this, goes over this video, which I don't know why you would, because I'm boring and I'm just talking about some trauma right now, just to get it out. Hope you have a good day anyway. Bye.